Welcome! Have you ever heard that the world was supposed to end in 2012? Well, you're still here, so clearly that didn't happen. But why did so many people believe it would? It all starts with an ancient civilization and their mysterious calendar. The Mayan calendar is one of history's most fascinating timekeeping systems, but somewhere along the way, it gained an unexpected reputation as a doomsday prophecy. But did the Maya really predict the end of the world? The year 2012 became a global obsession. Some people feared disaster, others threw end-of-the-world parties. But the truth? Well, it's a lot more interesting than the myth. So, what was the Mayan calendar really about? And where did this doomsday idea even come from? Buckle up, because we're about to unravel the real mystery of the Mayan calendar. Now that we know the Mayan calendar isn't just a doomsday clock, let's explore what it actually is. And trust me, it's way cooler than just counting days. The Maya didn't use just one calendar, they had three. Each served a different purpose, and together they created one of the most advanced timekeeping systems in history. First, there's the Tzolk'in, a 260-day calendar. It was used for rituals and religious ceremonies, kind of like a cosmic schedule for the gods. Then we have the Haab, a 365-day solar calendar. This one was used for everyday life. Think farming, festivals, and tax season. Yes, even the ancient Maya had one of those. And finally, the Long Count. This one kept track of really big dates, spanning thousands of years. It was used for recording history, like the Maya's version of a time machine. The Long Count is made up of cycles called baktuns, each lasting around 400 years. When one ended, a new one began, kind of like hitting reset on a stopwatch. For the Maya, calendars weren't just about tracking time. They were sacred, shaping everything from politics to agriculture to prophecy. So, when the Long Count reached the end of a baktun in 2012, some people thought it meant game over. But for the Maya, it was just the start of a new cycle. Now that we know how the Mayan calendar really works, let's unravel how a simple cycle reset turned into one of the biggest doomsday myths in history. Now, we enter a new chapter. The 2012 phenomenon that sparked wild apocalyptic rumors. In 2012, the 13th baktun of the Mayan Long Count calendar came to an end, a fact that many misinterpreted. Some saw this ending as a final countdown, wrongly viewing a calendar cycle as a doomsday prophecy. In truth, the Maya embraced time as a continuous cycle, and no ancient inscription predicted an apocalypse. This chapter shows how myths can mislead, while true ancient perspectives reveal a cycle of renewal. Let's move on to deeper insights. Now that we know how the Mayan calendar actually works, let's dive into a crucial question. What did the Maya really say about 2012? If they weren't predicting doomsday, then what was all the fuss about? The key to the mystery? An ancient carving known as Tortuguero Monument 6? This stone inscription created over 1,000 years ago is one of the few known texts that even mention 2012. So, what does it say? The inscription refers to the completion of a great cycle in the Mayan Long Count calendar. But instead of warning about destruction, it mentions the return of a powerful deity. The Maya saw time as a series of cycles, not a countdown to the end. To them, 2012 wasn't an apocalypse. It was a transition, the start of something new. No ancient Mayan text predicts global catastrophe. The doomsday myth? That was a modern misunderstanding, not a Mayan prophecy. So, there you have it. The Maya weren't warning us about doom. They were marking a moment of cosmic renewal. But if they never predicted the apocalypse, how did this myth spread so far? Let's find out. Now that we know the Maya never predicted doomsday, it's time to ask, how did the 2012 apocalypse myth take over the world? The answer? A mix of misinterpretation, media hype, and a little help from pop culture. Let's break it down. First, the New Age movement played a big role. Some spiritual thinkers saw the Mayan calendar's cycle reset as a sign of global transformation, though not necessarily doom. But others took it further, linking it to prophecies of radical change, cosmic shifts, or even alien contact. Next, Western culture loves a good apocalypse story. From religious end times prophecies to science fiction disasters, the idea of the end of days has been around for centuries. So when people heard about a Mayan prophecy, it fit right into familiar doomsday narratives. Then came the media. Sensational headlines, viral articles, and best-selling books turned 2012 into a global obsession. Did the Maya predict the end? Made for an irresistible story, even if the facts didn't back it up. And of course, Hollywood couldn't resist. Blockbuster movies and TV specials turned the Mayan Doomsday into a spectacle, complete with earthquakes, fireballs, and collapsing cities. The myth went from speculation to pop culture phenomenon. In the end, the 2012 apocalypse wasn't an ancient prophecy. It was a modern myth, shaped by misinterpretations, media hype, and our own fascination with the end of the world. But if the Maya weren't predicting doom, what was their real message? Let's find out! So now that we've debunked the 2012 apocalypse myth, what happened to the Mayan calendar after all that hype? Well, turns out it never actually ended. And for many Maya communities, it's still an important part of daily life. In parts of Mexico and Guatemala, the Maya still use their traditional calendar for rituals, agriculture, and even naming ceremonies. It's not just a relic, it's a living tradition. For the Maya, time isn't just numbers, it's spiritual. Each day in the Tzolk'in calendar carries special energy, guiding important decisions and community events. Meanwhile, scholars continue to be amazed by how advanced Mayan timekeeping was. Their knowledge of astronomy and mathematics was centuries ahead of its time. The Doomsday myth has faded, but the legacy of the Mayan calendar remains. It's not about the end, it's about understanding cycles, renewal, and connection to the cosmos. So, what's the real takeaway? The Mayan calendar wasn't a countdown to disaster. It's a masterpiece of knowledge that's still shaping lives today. And with that, let's turn the page to our final chapter. And here we are, the final chapter of our journey through the Mayan calendar. We've uncovered myths, decoded ancient wisdom, and learned what the Maya really believed. Now, let's take a step back and see what this all means for us today. History is full of mysteries, but to truly understand them, we need evidence, not speculation. The 2012 myth was a perfect example of what happens when we take ancient ideas out of context. The Maya didn't predict an apocalypse. They built one of the most sophisticated calendars of their time. Their astronomical knowledge was incredible, proving that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we often assume. Misconceptions like the 2012 Doomsday myth remind us how easy it is for history to be rewritten by rumor and pop culture. But when we study history accurately, we gain something much more valuable: real insight into how people saw the world. For the Maya, time was a cycle of renewal, not an endpoint. Their calendar wasn't a warning, it was a tool of wisdom, deeply connected to nature, society, and the cosmos. So, what's the big lesson here? History is more than just stories. It's a way to connect with the knowledge of those who came before us. And when we look beyond the myths, we find wisdom that still matters today. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps our channel grow, and if you love unraveling ancient mysteries, we've got plenty more coming your way. And tell us in the comments, what's your favorite ancient mystery? The Mayan calendar? The pyramids? Lost civilizations? We'd love to hear your thoughts and theories.